it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com. Ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. Get started today at howardhanna.com.
Avoiding care can lead to worse problems. Don't delay care. We're here for you.
All right, and welcome to the Howard Hanna halftime show of the Class AA Far West Regional. Right now, it's the Bennett Tigers of Section 6 taking care of the McQuaid 20-0. Tigers on top for that first half. The first touchdown of the game, I believe, scored by Allen, long run. That was followed up on later offensive possession, McQuaid. They came up, fumbled it. It was a heads-up play by Jaden Lewis. He comes up with the fumble. Actually, I think it was Lewis who had the first touchdown out of 65 long 65-yard pass. Then he comes up with the fumble on defense, and then a few plays later, it's Allen scoring, and then Bennett got another touchdown later in the half. So they lead this one 20-0 over McQuaid. And right now, it's that Bennett running game taking care of business, led by, let's be honest, lineman Rashard Perry. We talked about him at the half, and he seems to be doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, Francis, Bennett's superstars came to play tonight, at least for the first half. I mean, it's absolute, almost perfect first half. We'll talk about that in a minute, but their two main stars in Perry and obviously, and Allen came to play tonight. They came ready to play, and they just came out and they punched McQuaid in the mouth to start the game.
Yeah, they have, and they passed a few times. Obviously, the touchdown pass to Lewis. They completed a few more, but it's really been their running game, and they're hitting the same holes, and it's just a matter: is it going to be a 5-yard gain, or is it going to be a 20-yard gain, or 70-yard gain? As you can.
Yeah, and McQuaid seems a little shell shock. I do got to say, Bennett did fumble 3 times. I got to say it's a little lucky to recover all 3 themselves. So a little bit of lucky there, a little luck on their side, never hurt anybody. But yeah, I mean, McQuaid looks a little shell shock. I mean, I don't, we could say it's lack of practice, some players missing. I don't really care about that. Bennett is here to play tonight, and their stars are coming out to play. I love the game plan. Because you know what their game plan is? The same thing they did all year. They didn't change a thing. They're not changing a thing, at least in the first half. They are running behind Perry. And just like we said in the pregame, Francis, anytime Allen touches the ball, he can score. He turns the corner, and at 6'3", it's a pretty tall running back. So it looks a little unique. But when he turns the corner, he flat out flies, and he gets into this other turbo zone, I guess you could say, and he just runs past everybody. It's really, really special to watch.
Yeah, he's not a physically imposing player, as you might think, but he just is able to find the hole, and he just, all of a sudden, you just kind of see him pop out and go on a long run.
Yeah, and if he gets to the corner, nobody can catch up with him. He's just that fast, and and they know what they're doing offensively. They know how special Perry is, and they use him. Perry pulls it to right, Perry pulls it to left, or they run behind Perry. He's that good of a lineman that he can single-handedly win the trenches by himself.
All right, let's turn to the defense. Why does McQuaid have 0 points? What is the Bennett defense doing right now?
Yeah, I think it's and I've said this a few times, so I don't mean to repeat myself, but they are kind of having the bend don't break approach. They are keeping everything in front of them, which is great. McQuaid did have a couple chances early in the first quarter. They got down to, I think, about the 5-yard line, ended up missing a field goal. So again, it was keeping everything in front of them. Even the passes that were caught, Bennett's, as soon as they catch, they're making the tackles and not letting them break any tackles. They do have a special player, Paris Smiley. We talked about how fast he is. So Bennett definitely has to keep an eye on someone like him because they want to get him the ball. But again, Bennett, just like they've been all year, really special on defense, and they are a hard team to score on. They just don't give up a lot of points.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of penetration up front. Obviously, Rashard Perry is one of them. as well. When I heard of Paris Smiley, I kept thinking of Brandon Smiley, who played for Sweet Home a couple of years ago. Did fantastic there. They kind of play somewhat similar, both receivers that are able to make plays in the middle of the field. I should point out the pretty good performance by Sean Overlease, the running back. They've relied on him a bunch. He's been able to get to the outside a little bit. If Bennett hasn't quite been able to contain the edge, but that's because they're just doing so well up front. I mean, Mahar's been, the stats might not show it, but he's been under pressure a bunch of times. They knock down his passes, and she's feeling comfortable.
Yeah, and if you watch, the defensive line for Bennett against the offensive line for McQuaid offensive line is going backwards almost every play. And we talked about the quarterback for McQuaid, John Mary. He's had some great stats, but he's got a little bit of happy feet right now, and that's all because of the defensive line from Bennett putting all that pressure on him. And I don't know if he's seen this kind of pressure this year, because they are in his face every single down, and they're not going to stop.
And we should point out, McQuaid has 10 guys out, and we said at the pregame it was mostly linemen. But when we looked at the actual starters from last week's game, we maybe saw 1, 2.
Yeah, I think so. What we did during the last game is we went to the YouTube watch McQuaid versus Aquinas to try to see what starters, who they're missing. I think we saw one starter out. So it's not like, I don't want to say that we're not going to downplay what Bennett is doing in this first half. They are outplaying McQuaid. They punch him in the mouth, and this is not like they're missing 5 to 7 starters. They are beating the real McQuaid team that won the Section 5 championship.
Yeah, so we will see what happens in the second half. So again, it's the Bennett Tigers up 20-0 over McQuaid in that first half. Rest of the game will be on the NFHS network. Winner of this one will move on to the state semifinal. That'll be in Cicero North, Syracuse. I believe Cicero North is actually going to be the team that will be playing in that game, but we'll see on that. But that'll do it for the Howard Hanna halftime show. Tune in later for the post-game show. You're watching our coverage of the Far West Regionals on Western New York Athletics.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
I love being home.
Avoiding care can lead to worse problems. Don't delay care. We're here for you. Western New York Immediate Care provides quick, quality care for non-emergent injuries and illnesses. Go to WNYimmediatecare.com for more information.